This is Tales from the Pros, where business leaders and influencers share their stories of inspiration, struggles, and successes. And I'm your host, Michael Giorgio. Hey everyone, welcome to Tales from the Pros. This is Michael Giorgio, your host and co-founder of Imaginovation. My awesome guest with me here today is known as the godfather of LinkedIn video and one of the world's top video marketing experts, a Forbes featured entrepreneur and LinkedIn top voice. He is the founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe. Named a 2019 LinkedIn Video Creator of the Year, he is one of the pioneering top LinkedIn video and LinkedIn Live creators in the world and is a sought out after international speaker. Brian teaches founders and C-suite executives who want to find their voice, how to voice their vibe, attract their tribe, and tell a story that people will fall in love with one LinkedIn through video. Please welcome Brian Schulman. Brian, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here today. Thank you so
Michael,
much.
No, I appreciate you too. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah, I know we connected through LinkedIn, and I've been seeing your content now probably for a few years now. Honestly, it's really good, and it's very positive. And even before we met today, and had a little bit of a pre-interview and all that, just your energy and your essence, man. You just seem overall like a really good guy, and just very, as I mentioned before, very positive and passionate, and you definitely know what the heck you're doing with video on LinkedIn. So we'll talk about that later. But really what I want to learn more about you and for everyone else to learn about you is really your story, Brian. I know you have a story. You have a really good one. So I want you to talk about your inspirational story of success and struggle, and tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to actually do this through another voice, so to speak. So I'm a dad. I have an almost 20-year-old and almost 18-year-old, and my daughter is the older one. And she, her senior year in high school, she wrote a 4-way speech contest essay, and she literally just walked into my office and handed me this and sat down next to me and wanted me to read it. So I stopped what I was doing. And again, I had no idea what this was. So it's entitled Live to Inspire. And this apparently was extra credit. Wasn't something she needed to do. And so I'll try and get through this without losing it. I've yet to accomplish that yet, but so just bear with me.
Of course.
All right. So again, it's entitled Live to Inspire. The story about to be told is about an extraordinary man, now 42 years young, who accepted all the obstacles life had to throw at him. Now, I know you may be thinking that everyone has different obstacles they just overcome throughout their lifetime. So how is he different from you and I? What makes this particular man different from you and I is the tactics he used when faced with these obstacles. What makes him different from you and I is that he took these obstacles and used them to help make a difference and inspire others to never let life get in the way of their greatness and achievements. What makes us different from everyone else is not the obstacles life throws at us, but what we do when faced with these obstacles. Will you choose to accept defeat, or will you choose to persevere? On May 13th, 1975, a child was born at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. And this child was born 3 months early, weighing 1.5 pounds. And because of that, was a premature baby. During the early 80s, he was diagnosed with a neurological disorder called Tourette's syndrome, which is a type of tic or involuntary repetitive movement and vocalization disorder. And one day at camp, the counselor had to take this young boy to a payphone, tears streaming down his face, to call his mother because his neck kept constantly snapping to one side over and over and over again. He went to various doctors who performed countless medical examinations to try and find a cure for his disorder. Every doctor said the same thing. He's fine. He'll grow out of it. And one day in 5th grade, he stood up in front of his entire class and shared with them what Tourette's syndrome was and what dealing and living with Tourette's syndrome was like. A huge weight was lifted off his shoulders once he shared his story with his classmates, and it generated many supporters, whether they be friends, parents, or teachers. Finally, a specialist at UCLA told him that he would never be able to get rid of this disorder alone and suggested that he take a special drug called clonidine to help with the tics. Unfortunately, with this drug came horrible side effects. He made a conscious decision not to take the pills after a few years to try and master his condition through focus and determination. After a while, the tics started to diminish, and for the most part, they went away. No one knows what life has in store for them. All we can do is live until we're forced to face an obstacle in which we must make a choice to either overcome or accept defeat. The Rotary Four-Way Test demonstrates how one person can make a difference in the lives of others. With the experiences this boy had to face came a life lesson. With determination, perseverance, and support from others, anything can happen. Now, at 42 years young, this man chooses to use his story to make a difference in others' lives by inspiring people in times of uncertainty. He implements the Rotary's motto, service before self, by finding light in those who cannot find it in themselves, supporting them through their tough obstacles. He helps lift people's spirits and hopes in times of hopelessness and despair. He helps people turn their ideas and dreams into realities. He helps build people from the ground up in hopes that they too will one day share their stories with others. He makes a difference in this world each and every day, which inspires others to make a difference as well. Who, may you ask, is this man? Well, he is my father. Out of all the lives he's made the biggest difference in, I believe he's made the biggest difference in mine. He inspires me never to give up on what I believe in, to always do what makes me happy, but most importantly, to always live every day as if it were the last, because we're never guaranteed a tomorrow. As Gandhi once said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Making a difference in the lives of others is my dad's change. What will be yours?
That's beautiful, man. And your daughter wrote that.
She did her senior year in high school.
Wow.
Which was she just finished her first year in college, so it was last year.
All right. Your daughter should be a storyteller.
Right? Yeah, like I said, it wasn't something I literally just put in my hands, and we had a good cry together, and I think anyone that's a parent, no matter how old your kids are, to get something like that, it's really special.
Yeah, man, that's so nice to hear. I know that story is a part of your voice, right? So you made that a part of who you are. You definitely need to get that framed.
Yeah,
if you have it already.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's interesting. I get a question a lot, especially from LinkedIn, which is, how are you just so positive all the time? Like, how do you do that? And I think the thing is now that you understand some of the backstory, right? Coming from where I have literally fighting for every breath to make it into this world, breathing, not breathing, a pound and a half miracle baby that wasn't supposed to live. And then being diagnosed with the neurological disorder, which is Tourette's syndrome. And in the height of my Tourette's, I was somersaulting from room to room, jumping up and down, making tons of auditory noises, intense neck twitches like I described, wrist flicking, and a lot of these things would commingle. And the thing with Tourette's is you don't know you're doing them, and they're uncontrollable. So I was, the weird kid and dealing with a lot of adversity and bullying growing up. And, I think there was an inflection point for me where I wanted to give out the opposite of the negative that I had received by others around me. And don't get me wrong. I certainly had a a ton of positivity around me and in my life, right? But sometimes, and I think we realize this, especially in the world that we're living in today, in so many different ways, one negative can overshadow a thousand positives. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think it was, I didn't want to push that out. I wanted to be a giver of good and positivity and love and light and strength and encouragement. And look, I mean, I know life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And I know every breath I've taken is a gift. And I certainly know I've failed way more in life and in business than I've succeeded. But the thing is that I've learned every step of the way, and then I've gotten up every single time, and I've dusted myself off and kept going. And that's why I've succeeded no matter what the outcome is. And I certainly know, speaking of LinkedIn, right? Like coming to a place like LinkedIn 16 and a half years ago, my purpose was to give out good to the universe. So no matter what was going on in my life, no matter how bad my day was, no matter what was going on with me, I wanted to give out good 365 with the hopes to achieve my why. And my why had nothing to do with business. It was, I wanted to inspire one person a day. And so if I could inspire one person, Michael, to chase after their dreams and know and feel and believe that they can accomplish anything and get up
Yeah.
one more time after they've fallen 50,000 times and believe in yourself and know that you can get back up, which is the hardest part, right? And go again and know that you are succeeding every time you do that, regardless of achieving that goal that's way off in the distance and that mountain peak you can barely see, right? Or inspire someone to inspire someone else, or put a smile on somebody's face when they don't have one for just a brief moment when they need it, or make somebody laugh, right? I mean, again, think about the times that we're in. It's so hard for everyone, and we need
Yeah.
that. We need that so much more now than ever. And so, or again, just make somebody feel good about themselves when they don't. Just one of those things for one person. Hey, Michael, like I have done my part as a human being, make the world a better place. And look, life has and will continue to throw me mad curveballs and knock me down, and I'll keep getting up and to the plate, so to speak, and swinging because,
Yeah.
as my mom had said to me, she showed me a picture, and I never knew this. She showed me a picture of me sitting in her lap as a baby, in a lion's costume that apparently she made. And I said, "Well, why a lion's costume?" And she said, "Because you're a fighter, because you literally fought for every breath to make it into this world." So for me, the hope is that everyone will get up and fight, not physically, but we'll get up
Right.
and fight, and we'll keep getting up, and we'll keep believing, and knowing that, as you had said, right, that we all have a voice, and we all have a story, and we all matter, and that you're never alone, especially in the world that we're living in today, and especially a place like LinkedIn, that we're in this thing together. We're
Together.
growing
Yeah.
through. Yeah, that's what it's about.
And I love, Brian, what you just told me is that it seems that you embrace a lot of your vulnerability, right? And that's a huge strength, man. And I'll tell you, with a lot of men in the world, us, it's very difficult. I don't get that a lot, and I like that. And I can tell already that me and you are going to be very connected. We're going to have a good relationship because I'm like that too. Sometimes and I don't care. I mean, people can think what they want, but sometimes, like with my fiance, I'll have I'll have a tough day, whatever it is, and I'll shed tears, and she's just like, I love that about you, that you are emotional, and that's so good. And I think a lot of us are afraid to show and embrace our vulnerabilities, and to present our stories. And you know what, man, it resonates. I mean, I had a lot of dyslexia growing up. It took me for it wasn't really a problem with reading, it was just a problem of understanding and learning what I was reading. And I was always the last person to finish class, and I almost I almost had to restart the grade twice, but then I studied and I passed the final exam, and I made it to the next grade when I was a kid. And I took, after school lessons and tutors, and my parents are incredibly supportive. They're my mentors, my mom and dad. And, God bless them. They're amazing. And it's crazy, and I went through a lot of bullying. I was bullied from when I was elementary school up until college, man. You know, I even played college sports. I was redshirted at UNC Pembroke, and you know, I was bullied by a lot of the guys there. You know, and that was in my late teens, early 20s. It's, you know, it is what it is. But you know, I just kept moving forward, and I was able to start my own company. And then a lot of people that were bullying me in the past asked me for jobs later. It's pretty crazy how, you know,
Circle of
I
life.
just, yeah, man, it really is. But you know, it's sometimes you let that old story go, but it's still gonna have that scar on you. But you know, I have a lot of scars. It's just part of who I am. But I'll tell you this: I will never stop showing love to people, and always try to understand and show compassion. I think that's really what the world needs right now, is a lot of understanding, compassion, and love. And you know what's all that's going on right now with Black Lives Matter. It's good that we talk about that, because it's a big time in our, you know, I want us to remember this episode, because you know we have COVID, which is almost barely talked about right now, and then all of a sudden it's all this crazy social, you know, just anxiety and discourse and all these things going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, we just got to keep moving forward, man, and treat everyone equally. It's
Yeah.
vital. So
We're all humans with a heartbeat first. Humans with a
right,
heartbeat first. And I really appreciate you sharing your story. I can relate so much to it because I dealt with the same for so much of my life. And you know, look, until I made that very first video on LinkedIn, and I know we'll get into that stuff, but just in preface, you know, I didn't look at weird and different as a good thing. I didn't want to be weird and different. I wanted to be normal, and air quotes, normal, and blend in.
yeah,
I didn't want a spotlight shined on me, you know, and it was really hard. And this is just, you know, a couple of years ago. I mean, it'll be
yeah, yeah.
3 years for me in December, you know, but that being the first time that I had talked about that in the world of business, you know, about my life story stuff. It was terrifying because,
And you, oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, it's okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say that, and you know, when it comes to business, it's gonna reflect so positively, because for me, you know, ever since I started Imagine Ovation, we talked about my tech company about 9 years ago. I've always tried to be honest and authentic to everyone. And I'm telling you, it plays such a huge role, because people remember that, right? People don't always remember what you said or what you do. It's how you make them feel.
That's right.
Uh,
Maya Angelou said
you know,
it. Yep.
yeah, it's just wow, yeah. But you know, and I know, you know, I talked about a little earlier. We talked about you know, vibes, and talked about you know, how we are energetically and all these things, and you know, talk about our voices. And a lot of us are afraid to share our voices. It's just we're so. This is the thing, Brian. You know this, you being a businessman. Sometimes we're so stuck in the day-to-day grind,
Mm.
you forget about who you are. Isn't it crazy to just say, like, it's just insane. We forget about who the heck we are. We're so in the day-to-day grind, especially in this country. You need to make money, progress, progress, progress. You need to provide. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to get this award. It's never good enough. And then we forget, why am I even doing this? Like, what am I? Why am I here? It's just it's it's outrageous saying that, but it really is the truth. You know, so with you, Brian, and what you do, and how, and I know you guide your clients, and you have certain strategies and tactics and methods of doing this, but how do you um, uh, how do you tell someone to really find their voice? When you're guiding, for example, a client, how does that go about?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Michael. And it's hard for folks because, and I can say that from experience, right? I mean, it took me 5 months to muster up the courage and bravery to finally take the leap and share my story with the world. And at that time, in front of 500 million people on LinkedIn. And
It's
it's,
insane.
you know,
Wow.
I think when you think about it, right, especially in business, you know, you naturally in your mind, you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't want people to know my flaws. I don't want what you think is a flaw, right? Your backstory, your history. You don't want people to judge you or think differently about you. Again, and I get all that. And I know you do too, because of what we've been through,
Right.
right? But I think the thing is, and it's interesting because the very first session of working with people is all about their story, their life story, and every single client, right? Whether it's a team, whether it's individuals, everyone says the same thing. Like, I'm not like you, Brian. I didn't almost die and deal with all this adversity and bullying, and I'm like, stop. You're discounting your story, because the thing you have to remember is it's all about relatability. Like, again, we're all humans first with a heartbeat. And I did get a degree in psychology, and the biggest reason was because I didn't understand me, and I didn't understand people. I just didn't get
Mm.
it. I didn't understand how people could treat people the way that they did. And it was all confusing to me. So I wanted to better understand all of that. And it really did help me reflecting back, to learn about human beings and why we are the way we are and the different ways that we are, and all of that. And so I think the thing is, I always say it's the heart of it all that matters. If you think about it, right, whether it's personally, professionally, which, by the way, it's all one. We are all one human being.
Mhm.
And again, humans with a heartbeat. And I say it's the heart of it all that matters because the reality is, like, your business, you didn't start because you wanted to make $1 billion. You didn't start
Mm-mm.
because you wanted your name to be plastered everywhere. It was
If it was, I
you,
would have quit by now.
right. You wanted to change the world. It's
Yeah.
what all founders want. We want to change the world, and we want to make an impact. And it all comes from here. It all comes from your heart, right? Your why behind the root of it all. And that's what it was for me, and the reality is that, especially in the world that we're living in now more than ever, right? You need to be seen, you need to be heard. And you got to go where the people are. And so what I was saying was, is first, it's tell me your life story, no holds barred. It's all stays between us. But it's really easy to get caught in your own bubble. And again, I say all of this from experience because I had to grow through all of it myself. It was all brand spanking new to me. And just like everything else in my life and in business, having built and grown startups for the last 20 years, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And you don't know it in the moment, but when it's happening in your most uncomfortable state, that's when you're growing the most. And you will
Yeah.
never know until you look back in reflection and go, wow, I never thought that moment would be the biggest inflection point or one of the biggest inflection points in my life. um, so and that happened for me, right? So I may teach by doing. Like, everything that Voice Your Vibe, my company, and what I work with C-suite execs and founders and their teams on, I've literally been through all of it. When you're sitting there at ground zero, greener than green, not knowing anything, right? Like, how do I even do this? I had to go through all of that psychologically, technologically, emotionally, physically. I had to
Hmm.
learn all of it. And for someone to be there to help you grow through that, to help you know, hey, it's okay. It's okay to fall. I'll catch you. You'll be all right. You get back up. We'll do it again. You'll be fine, right? But finding that bravery and courage is the hardest part, Michael, because we're all guarded that way, and I think we all have those moments where we go, I don't know if I want people to know that. I had that. No one in the world of business over the last, well, at that point, I don't remember how many years it was, a couple years ago, but 16, 17 plus whatever years ago, from a business perspective, nobody knew that backstory, but that was a purpose. I didn't want anyone in business to know that because I didn't want to be looked at, treated differently. I wanted to I wanted to earn everything on my own merit. And I also wanted to make sure that, again, I was looked at same, equal, right? I mean, then again, you bring up, again, look at the times that we're in right now.
Yeah.
People are not being looked at as humans with a heartbeat. We're being looked at differently because of our color, because of race, because of, and,
I don't know.
and
It's really sad, man. It really is.
so
Uh, and Brian, I had this very lately. And a lot of your content has been so great. And we talk about positivity and all of that, and for me, finding my voice, I'll tell you, I believe I have a lot of different things I'm good at. From we all have our skills and talents and gifts and all these blessings. We're blessed with a lot,
Yeah.
and but I'll tell you that something that has called me is storytelling. And I know there's a lot of people and there's storytellers, all this stuff, and marketers, and but it's just Then I thought, who cares if there's other people that do it? Like that stopped me before. It really did. I'm like, oh, but I'm not unique. It's like, you know what? Who gives a crap? You are unique. I'm my own storyteller that connects people. Yeah, just because I have a tech company, cool, that's awesome. But you know what? I want to listen to other people's story and how that's going to allow how they can communicate and let it resonate with others.
It's
That's
all about the
very,
stories.
very. It really is, man. It's so
And
important.
everyone has a story. I
Yeah.
always say everyone has a voice in a story, and a voice in a story that matters, and a voice in a story that can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life by sharing those stories. Again, remember, like we're all human beings with a heartbeat, and we all relate. Like, I've grown up in sales my entire career.
Hmm.
Anyone in business is in sales. You have to sell yourself to get a
Of course.
job. You have to sell. You're always selling, whether you know it or not. And that's not a bad thing. You have,
No, it's how
you
you
know,
sell. It's your approach.
yes. And it's
Yeah.
all about, everyone loves a good story. Nobody wants to be sold to, So I think
Mhm.
and you're so right. And it's easy for us to all get in our heads that way and think, no, I'm not, because we all will compare ourselves to people. We all have
Yeah.
done it at some point, or you will.
You will.
It's a natural thing. And the thing to remember is that we all start from ground zero. We just start at different times in our journey. And the reality is if you think about it, like I said, in terms of one person, because it's easy to get caught up in numbers when you think about social and all that, and my views and my likes and my shares and my all those things, and it's about impact, and if you think about it in terms of being able to impact one person's life by sharing that story in whatever way you're doing it, through video, through text, through imagery, whatever it is, right? It's that impact. Now, I'm a LinkedIn fanatic. If you're seeing this, you see LinkedIn blue. I mean, I bleed blue and white, and it's because I
I'm getting
literally,
there. I'm starting to like it more. I'm starting to love it
yeah.
more. I'm just on it all the time. Before I was like trying to do the whole Instagram thing, but it didn't fit me. I was just like, this is not. I don't know. It didn't fit me. And then Facebook's just so saturated. It's just unless I have baby photos to show, like it's just crazy stuff. You
Well,
know what
and
I mean?
you make a good
But
point, right? Because every
yeah,
platform is unique in its own right. Like they
of
all have their
course, of
own
course.
their
Oh
own
yeah,
vibe, their own purpose. I mean,
right,
none of them started with the purpose of like driving business. They started it to build community, right? And then the
right,
business component kind of became a part of it. So, like you said, Facebook,
correct.
friends, family, college roommates. Instagram, check me out. I've got an amazing life. TikTok started with kids and is kind of
Dancing.
evolved.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, Snapchat, you look at all of them, right? And LinkedIn, business social networking platform, right? I mean, and I've been on LinkedIn every day for the last 16 and a half years. So I've been through
Wow,
the
that's.
entire journey. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's been a crazy morph. But I will say, I mean, evolution wise, I think the thing to always remember is these companies, right? They build these platforms, these digital playgrounds, so to speak, for us kindergartners to show up and play. And we make a choice to go on the jungle gym or the swings or the slide or the three-wheeler, right? I mean, they give it to you. It's there. And and the thing with a place like LinkedIn, right, is that, you know, I think it's great that they set the stage that it's a business social networking platform. I mean, it was just a digital resume and a place to look for a job years and years ago. And honestly, out of the scheme of 675 million people on LinkedIn today, most people in the scheme of that number still look at it that way because they don't realize it's an engagement platform. They don't realize it's changed. And that change has taken place in literally just a handful of years. The most impactful moment, was, well, it's, yeah, I mean, it was just a couple years ago when LinkedIn Video launched, and it changed the dynamic of the platform
Oh
forever.
yeah.
I mean, it truly became human with a heartbeat for the very first time. And it doesn't mean it wasn't that way, just so different because it became personal. people were sharing real stories from their
Hmm.
heart. It was gut wrenching, and it was truly amazing because they were so inspiring, Michael,
You're
so
building so much
inspiring.
trust online. It's hard to build trust because we've all been screwed over 1,000 times, right? You feel like you
Absolutely.
can trust someone, and you're like, then yeah, we won't go there, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. It's
No,
just,
for sure. Well, you
yeah,
can't hide it's very, very hard
yeah.
to to show, like other platforms. It's easier. You can show up on a YouTube, on a Facebook, on an Instagram, and fake it out. But LinkedIn, you can't, because you meet people, you run into people, and if you're not who you say you are, if you're not who you are putting yourself out there as,
Right.
you're gonna get called out for it. But
Mhm.
I think that's the most important thing. Again, is you need to be seen, you need to be heard, you need to be heard, and you need to show up. And again, now more than ever, right, between quarantine and everything else, uh, it's understanding that. And you know, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we were talking a little bit about LinkedIn and video and just different types of content. When you, for example, when there is someone that finds their voice, they go through that step, and they're happy with it, and they're confident and comfortable with it. How how do they really communicate? What's the best way to communicate their voice, their story, and have it
Yeah,
resonate with others online? That I think is sometimes it's hard because we're all so different, but we all have a
yeah.
lot of commonalities and similarities as well.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. And look, I mean, the thing is, like, you mentioned how, once you're comfortable and all that, it takes a long time for that to
Mm,
happen. Like, you go through this evolution with yourself of getting comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Because that's so important, especially in the beginning. And I think the thing is there's many different mediums to voice your vibe, right? It's finding that voice inside of you and then figuring out, okay, well, how do I get it out there? Now, I'm a huge proponent of video, and there's many reasons for that, right? Cross platform video. I mean, 80+% of, now these numbers are skewed because obviously in this
keeps
pandemic that we're
changing.
in,
Yeah, yeah.
well, everybody's glued to their screens 24/7. So, but 85% of content consumed online is through video. Videos help build brand awareness. 90+% of folks use video to make product and service purchasing decisions. Social videos generate 12x the shares of text and image combined, right? I mean, those are, I think numbers are important, right? Because they tell a story, right? It's like, okay, wow, these are facts, right? Like HubSpot did a study that found that 54% of consumers want to see more video content from brands and businesses that they support. And it went on
Yeah.
further, and they said that they were predicting that video would account for 70+% of all mobile traffic by next year, by 2021, right? So it's so important to show up. And as I said a few times already, right, it's the heart of it all that matters. And I personally think that the growth of video as a part of a brand's heart-centered content marketing strategy will continue to increase. And I do believe with a concentration on LinkedIn. And I think in 2020, LinkedIn video is comprised of two components: LinkedIn video, LinkedIn live. They're both video, but one is native or recorded, pre-recorded, and then live, which is live, right? I think LinkedIn Live, which by the way is still in beta, there's only about 350 of us in the world out of 675 million people that are approved broadcasters, because you have to
Mm,
apply and get approved and all that. But I predict that more and more businesses will find their voices, they will voice their vibe, they will attract their tribes by including live and native video in their marketing strategies on LinkedIn. Now, that being said, okay, great. Understanding that it's so important to show up, go where the people are, which is why I say LinkedIn, because I did tell you 675 million people. That grew 15 million over 3 months of November to
mm.
November, December, January. Just those 3 months, right? 250 million quote unquote active users, 1%, Michael, that's creating content. 1%. That's astronomical. Now, I believe that number has probably grown a little bit, but I still think it's single digits. And knowing that, right? Everyone from the founder to the funder to the chairman to the janitor and everyone in between is on LinkedIn. Anyone you would ever want to build a relationship with in business is there. And the predisposition of a business social networking platform is there. The challenge with that is that most people think, in the scheme of 675 million people, that you have to show up and talk about business. You have to wear your proverbial suit. You have to have your suit speak. And couldn't be farther from the truth.
It really is a lack of authenticity. It's not who they
Yes.
are. They don't wake up, they're not waking up in the morning with wearing a suit.
100%. 100%.
They have to get ready.
Yeah.
It's
Unless you're on Wall Street, right? I mean, and that's what you're doing. But the reality is it's show up and be human first. So knowing that the toilet bowl flushes in the opposite direction, talking about business should be 10% of what you do. It'd be like, I wouldn't walk up to you in a room, Michael, hand you a contract, not knowing who you are, and go sign this. You'd be like, I'm sorry. How about we start over? I'm Michael. What's your name? Right? Like, you don't build relationships that way.
And we get cold calls as well that do that. I'm just like, they're still doing
100%.
this. I can't believe it. And LinkedIn messages. I can't imagine how many LinkedIn private messages you're getting, Brian.
Thousands of them.
It's crazy. Yeah. And there's one thing I want to note here, and this, being on LinkedIn for so long, is that all of us who are heavily active on LinkedIn, even some that are not, they're probably still getting private messages, direct messages. But the ones I get, what I don't like, and this is good for people listening to this, is when you have an intention, or it seems you have some sort of intention when they first message me, I'm like, oh, cool. It's like they want me to, be a part of their community. And then I interact, I engage. Then they say, hey, Michael, we're actually selling this and that. I'm just like, come on, man, you just ruined it. It's like almost like a bait and switch approach. It's not good.
No, and people are being ineffective. People are being taught to do that, which is the worst part about it, because they don't understand how to build digital relationships, right? And it's the most important thing, building digital relationships. Like, it's life. It's your entire life. It's the most important thing. But knowing how to do it and having a why behind it, like, don't have an ulterior motive, give to give, like, help to help, just be a kind human being, and know that as you build that relationship, it will always boomerang back. Hey, I mean, it happens to me all the time, and I get on Zoom chats with people every day, video chats like we're doing, and it's like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you for years, Brian. And that's because of me showing up, right? I made over 600, almost 650 videos on LinkedIn in the last couple of years since I started. And that's the other part that's so important, I think, for people to understand. I'm going to share some actionable tips here, because I think a lot of people are going, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, I've got to show up on video, and I got to show up on LinkedIn, but how do I do that? Like,
that was actually my next question. It's like, what strategies how do you execute? What's the best methods or tips or strategies? Is it once per day? Is it twice per week? Is it?
Yeah. So let's do this from a video perspective, because it's really important. Like, and again, video is the most important, I think, thing, and especially in the times that we're in. And here's why. Yes, phase 1, phase 2, things are starting to open up. I don't necessarily believe in that happening at this time, but that's for another conversation. I think the most important thing is realizing that you have to show up and you have to be seen and heard. Otherwise, your business will not stay alive. It will not succeed and flourish. Well, digital is the best way for you to do that, because you can reach the masses, right? So regardless of what platform, this will apply across multi-platforms, but LinkedIn specifically is its own unique beast. So here's 5 quick tips of becoming one of the world's top LinkedIn video creators, but how to start, how to show up, right? And this is not rocket science, all right? It's the simplest things that we don't think about. We try to complicate things, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I say that from my heart, because I've grew that through trying to make things more complicated than they need.
I still do it. I overthink everything. Yeah.
100%. No, I'm with you. So 5 tips. All right. So tip 1 is show up and be human. You'd think, well, yeah, why wouldn't I do that anyway? Well, showing up is hard. I told you it took me 5 months to muster up the bravery and courage to just show up. Being human, it's very hard to, just literally stick the phone in front of your face and stare at yourself and try and just be you. It's not as easy as it sounds. It can be challenging, especially when you're kind of sheltered in place for your inside of yourself and going, well, I don't want to talk about me, and that's weird. But show up and be human. It's really important. Okay. So and I'll talk about some of that a little bit more in how. Tip 2 is engage and support. Like I mentioned, every digital platform that it's built is built by these companies to create community. Well, the people that show up, that's how community is created, right? So these platforms built the digital playground. We decided to show up. LinkedIn built the digital playground 17 and a half years ago. Building community, shining your light bright on others is such an important thing. Like, if you remember nothing, remember that it's all about the people. Every one of these platforms that we've talked about is about the people, but it's very focused here. Take it off of you, realize that it's all about the people. So that's tip 2, engage and support. Tip 3 is create. Now, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, and it's really, really important. So I want you all to hear this. You have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively impact, affect, and inspire another human being's life. And there is no greater gift to give, and there is no greater gift to receive. Show up on video, share your stories. It's all about relatability, guys. Like I said, every day for the last 16 and a half years, I've been on the platform. Even when you couldn't create. Technologically, there's no way to, right? But I found a voice I never knew I had, and I showed up, and I voiced my vibe, and I attracted a tribe I never knew was there. And I got on LinkedIn Video just a couple of years ago, and I found something inside of me that I didn't know existed. Sharing very personal stories from my heart so that you could get to know who I am. And why did I do that? Because of my why, right? Inspiring one person a day. Your why, you need to know your why. Your why has to be greater than business. Everyone is on LinkedIn to do business. It can't just be that. It has to be greater than that. Okay. I mentioned being a pound and a half miracle baby that wasn't supposed to live, and growing up with a neurological disorder, and being weird and different, and wanting to just blend in. And I realized that I just needed to be me. And by being me, I was inspiring others to do the same by sharing my story. And if you bring your heart, right, I aspire every day to inspire you all to find your voice, especially in a place like LinkedIn, to share your story, to remember it's the heart inside of you that people fall in love with. And if you bring your heart in every story that you tell, and you tell stories, because it's the stories that we fall in love with, it's the stories that attract and vibe your tribe. The creation part is so important. That's where you share your stories. So what do you talk about? Talk about what you're interested in. Talk about what you're excited about and what you're passionate about. And look, in the times that we're in now more than ever, talk about what you're scared about. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get vulnerable. Talk about those things. Why would you do that? Because it's relatable. COVID-19, we're all sheltered in place. Our hair is all wacky. Our houses are turned upside down. Our kids are jumping around like lunatics. Like, and again,
I lost my hair.
You did. You lost,
And I lost all my hair.
Right. But I mean, again, it's all relatable, right?
Yeah.
People are rioting in the streets, voicing their vibe for, just, again, we're all human beings. Black voices matter. Everyone's voice matters. You speak up, right? Speak up. And there's different ways for you to do that. Do it. Come from your heart. Speak with passion. Don't hurt anyone. Don't get physical with everyone. But you can speak, and your voice can be heard so loudly across the world from here and from here. And so just know that video empowers you to be able to do that. 60 seconds or less is your best friend, especially on LinkedIn. People have to fall in love with you before they're going to listen to what you have to say, right? More and more people are showing up on video now more than ever, right? So realize that as people are scrolling through their feed, video, why should they stop and watch yours, right? Just remember the importance of 60 seconds or less. Everyone has 60 seconds, right? Now, a couple other quick tips when it comes to that in creation. One is, if you're just going raw, no software or anything like that, take your phone. Phone is always the best because you never know where you're going to be on the go, whatever. And the way I recommend getting comfortable being uncomfortable is this. Every single day, I want you to pull out your phone. It doesn't matter when, and it doesn't matter how long you're talking for. Don't worry about that right now. I want you to literally get through the motion of pulling your phone out of your pocket or pulling it off your desk or wherever it is, putting it in front of you. Smile first, hit record, wait a second or two, then start talking. If you're uncomfortable at staring at yourself, here's a tip. Flip your phone over this way. The dot is where you connect with your tribe. This is where they're paying attention to you, eye to eye. Perfect example. Like, I'm looking at Michael right now on my screen. Look at my eyes. Now I'm looking at the dot. Look at my eyes. Now I'm connecting with you.
Yeah.
Right? That's where you connect with people. So flip your phone, print out a picture of somebody, your dog, your best friend, your spouse, whatever, right? Your mom, your dad. Print out a picture of them right here and paste it. And somebody that makes you feel more at ease. You stare at that, which is right next to the dot. Get into that motion every day of just talking. Whatever you're feeling, mad, glad, happy, sad, again, especially in the times that we're in, it's okay. This is for you. And every day I want you to pull out your phone. I want you to just talk to yourself. It's video diary. Just talk to yourself. Again, don't worry about how long. Don't worry about what time it is. Make sure you can see yourself. Don't hide in a closet where it's pitch black. Make sure you can see yourself, unless you turn the light on your phone. That's fine.
Yeah, good lighting.
But do that. Do it every day for 30 days. You're going to find a couple of things that happen. One is you're going to get into the physical motion of picking up your phone, stopping, hearing me in your ear going, wait a minute, smile, because that captures people's attention. That draws us in, right? You have your own unique voice, your own unique smile, and your own unique laugh. They're yours. They're your trademark. Nobody in the world has them. Use them. It's what draws us to you. And talk to yourself, right? Now, what that's going to do for you is along this journey of a roller coaster, you're going to find a point where you're going to say, I can't. It's going to happen a lot. And when you watch these videos, at some point, I want you to tell yourself that. In that moment where you're saying, no, I can't do it. Great. Remember me in your ear, little Geppetto. Say, no, you can. And tell yourself right now that you can't, though. I can't do this. I'm pulling this open because Brian said I need to do it. But I don't want to do it. And I don't feel like I can do it. And I'm talking to myself, telling myself I can't do it, but I'm doing it anyway. Why would you do that? Well, because later when it happens again or something else happens and you go back and watch that video, you're going to remember that you did and you're 5 steps ahead of where you thought you couldn't. Now, the other thing is with that is you're creating content at the same time. Now, you may not feel that you want to share any of that stuff. However, there will be a point in time in your journey where you go, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And I want to share part of this because I feel like there's somebody who is in my shoes 10 steps back who doesn't think they can. And hopefully this will inspire them. So it's really powerful in so many ways, as you can tell, for you, but also then for others that are going through their journey. Like I said, everyone starts at a different point in time. We all start at ground zero, though. So create. The tip 4 is to be consistent. Now, we just talked about some of that. 30 days every day, consistency for you to get into a groove and a pattern. Consistency is key to success in anything. You know it, Michael, and so do I, right? Create a content strategy and a calendar to create a level of consistency that works for you. And I say for you because Michael, it works for you, it works for me, it works for Joey, it works for Johnny, it works for Jamie, is all going to be different. We each have our own flow and our own vibe and our own timing. However, when you show up consistently, your tribe knows when you're going to show up, right? Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll give you an example because I think examples help brings color to black and white. I have 2 live shows on LinkedIn that I do every week, up into 110 episodes. One is called Shout Out Saturday. One is called What's Good Wednesday. Now, neither of them have anything to do with me. Remember I talked about one of the most important things, engaging and supporting, building community, shining light bright on others? That was tip 2. That's what this is about. Shout Out Saturday was literally, I had over 1,000 video chats with people last year. And every single Saturday I would show up from talking to people on Zoom each week or whatever medium we use technologically. I wanted to give them some love. I'm like, these are amazing human beings. And all of them came from LinkedIn. I'm like, I want to give them some love. I want to give them a shout out. I want them to know I appreciate them and their time and our conversation and,
so cool.
and our vibe, you know, and I would do that every single Saturday and people would show up in the comments and start doing that and giving shout outs. And on the show, I would bring them onto the show, and I do bring them onto the show to give those shout outs live. And then I started something and we talk about the importance of pivoting, right? In pandemic and everything that's happening, right? I heard this word social distancing and it just wasn't vibing with me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Physically distancing, socially together. So how can I do something with this? How can I spin social
I never
distancing?
thought that really made a lot of sense. But I guess they think when they say social, like we're all together
Right.
having a drink, keep
Absolutely.
away. Yeah.
100%. But I
But
thought social distancing, I'm like, okay, how about social dancing? So I spun it and I said, okay, well, I'm going to add another dynamic to the show. People will come and give their shout outs, share the love, let those people know they appreciate them, give gratitude. And then we're going to do some social dancing together. And there was this video a friend of mine, fellow creator Audrey Boyle, had shared on Facebook. And it's just, you've seen it. It's gone viral. Guy in the car, they made a couple renditions of him.
I think I saw that. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Oh my
mean,
gosh,
their
I saw that.
energy is ridiculous. Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible. And they're hilarious, and it makes you feel good. And so we brought that into the show, and that's what we danced to. And anyway, point being is when you create a level of consistency, people know that you're showing up. They're ready for it. They're excited about it. Okay, and create your consistency on your level. You don't have to do what we're just start. Make one video a week. Every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, you're going to post it. Hold yourself accountable to it. Think of me and you're going, got to do it. It's not for you. It's not about you. It's for everybody else. And then the last tip is collaborate. Incredible things. Look at us, right? We met on LinkedIn, and I was looking through the comments of a post that I did about a podcast I was on, like, right? And incredible things happen when we come together. And remember, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Simon Sinek said that. And then in the times that we're in, more than ever, right? Just think about your smile being your logo now, and your personality being your business card now, and how you leave people feeling after that experience with you, especially through video. That's your trademark. And Michael, you said it earlier, and I will repeat it again because I say it all the time. People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel. Maya Angelou said it. That is it. With video, the only thing missing is you can't physically touch the person. You can't smell the person because we don't have smell-o-vision yet. I'm sure somebody's invented it over the last couple of months, but the reality is every other emotion is there. Every other sense is there through video. Just show up.
And it's like in life, you just got to show up for your friends, your family. It's the same thing, because LinkedIn is a community platform. So they kind of see it the same way, right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome, Absolutely. Brian. Yeah, this is you got some amazing stuff here. People are going to be like,
you know what?
I love. Yeah.
I want to share two other quick things with you real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Especially for your tribe, because I did bring up LinkedIn Live, and I'm sure there's some people that are like, well, how do we do that? And how do we get access to that? So I'll make sure, Michael, that you have a list to put in the show notes. But again, LinkedIn Live is in beta. There's a few, I guess, say a few in the scheme of 675 million, about 350 of us worldwide of beta. The feature's not available to all members and pages. So, but if you want to request access to become a live broadcaster on LinkedIn, we'll make sure you have the link so you know how to apply. The thing is, I also want you to understand this. Don't be discouraged if your application is denied. Most people's applications get denied, and it happens multiple times. So if your application is denied, I have 4 quick tips for you. One is go live on other platforms. Go live, show LinkedIn that you're already creating live content. Okay. I suggest streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Those are the biggies. Make sure that you're streaming public. You don't have it set to private, so that way anyone can access it and see it. Okay. Tip 2 is create native videos on LinkedIn, like we've talked about. Now, here's a really cool thing. If you're doing live on other platforms, download those live streams and then slice it up to create your content. You don't have to create it. It's already there. 60-second bites. You could create a series of LinkedIn videos out of one of your shows and call it out. Here we are. It's episode 2 of my live show on Facebook, because I don't have access to LinkedIn Live yet. A little tongue in cheek, right? You want to let them know that you're going live, but that's a great way for you to create native videos. And again, I remind you, native means pre-recorded that you're then sharing, right? So it shows LinkedIn that you know how to. Tip 3 is engage on other live streams. So you will see LinkedIn blasts at the top of your screen, whether it's on mobile or desktop, when somebody on LinkedIn Live is broadcasting live. You can literally just go in there for a couple minutes, engage, share some thoughts, hit the reaction buttons, let them know you're there. Okay. It also helps you grow your tribe. you'll meet new people, and you better understand the feature, because LinkedIn Live is a very different beast. You have to use a third-party platform to just broadcast on LinkedIn. It's not like Facebook where you can
I
just,
heard about that. Right.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's important too. Again, a conversation for another time. And then tip 4 is just don't be discouraged. Take steps 1, 2, and 3 that I just shared, and then rinse and repeat. Eventually, you will get, as long as you're not, talking about killing animals or people or something really negative, and they do want to make sure there's diversity across creators, broadcasters, right? So there's not the same people or different people saying the same stuff, right? And then, like I said, just rinse and repeat. You do that, and just keep going. If you get denied right away, if you apply and you get an immediate ping back, just know that that's normal. It's because there is such an influx of people that want access, they can't reply manually to every single person. If you get a reply that looks different, save these emails too. If you get a reply that looks a little bit different, you'll know that maybe it's a template, maybe not. And then you'll realize, just keep applying. If it takes you 10 times, keep applying. Take these steps. And then as you go through the application, start changing some of that. Yes, I have a live show. It's on these platforms. This is what it's about. If I had a live show on LinkedIn, this is what I'd want it to be about, that kind of stuff. Okay. And then I'll tie a bow on it with 2 giveaways for you guys, because I want to give you a couple other things, especially in the time that we're in right now. So one is, it's a free LinkedIn Jumpstart Masterclass. It's 15 free lessons a buddy of mine and I put together, filled with nuggets to get you newbies to LinkedIn started. And I say newbies, like if you've been on LinkedIn with a profile for 14 years, but you've never created any content, you're a newbie. Like this is all new.
Still, of course.
It's all new. So LinkedInmasterclass.thinkific.com. Again, I'll make sure that these are all in the show notes. Michael will have them. And then the other one is this. If you are a founder, a C-suite exec, an entrepreneur, part of a team, and you have questions about how to LinkedIn video or LinkedIn Live for you or your business, you want to talk video strategy, I would love to talk to you. So you can schedule a free 15-minute consultation call with me. We can talk specifically about you and your business. It's calendly.com/voiceyourvibe. Again, you'll have the link so you can click on it. But take advantage of these things, guys. Take advantage of them. I block my calendar specifically so that we can have this time together. There's so much going on in my world, between live shows, podcasts, when we're not in pandemic, speaking internationally.
Busy man, yeah.
All these things. But I want to help however I can.
Yeah, this is awesome, Brian. You definitely dropped some jewels today. Yeah, this is so good, man. And I do have one more question for you. I always ask this question with everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so how would you describe your story, Brian Schulman, in the last 30 years? You're about 29, 30, right? Something like that.
You're so kind.
All right. But no, you do look 30. I mean, I'm 33. I look like I'm 40. It's okay. I'm bald. I'm Greek. I have this darker skin, but
just turned 45. So
man,
I'm living it.
the new 30s, man. We're in a different generation now.
Yes,
it's not 50 years ago. It's different.
That's right.
But how do you, Brian, define your story in one word or in one sentence?
Wow. I mean, look, I mentioned I aspire to inspire. Inspire. If I had to do it in one word, I'd probably say inspire.
There you go.
I think the thing, again, in all of it is just to remember, like I said before, is that it's the stories that we fall in love with, and it is the heart of it all that matters. And I hope you take all of this in, and I hope you hear my story earlier that I shared and realize that everything you're feeling, it's okay. And it's okay to think that you don't have a story, but I want you to know that you do. And I want you to realize that your story will impact someone. Don't ever discount one human being impacting the life of another. There is nothing greater than that, because it becomes a ripple effect. It's truly an incredible gift that we are all given, to have our voice from here. and to be able to share that with the world, and to remember that it's not about you, because a lot of people get caught up in that. I don't talk about myself. It's not about you. And I had to grow through this myself, because I didn't want to talk up and share my story. But when you do, and when you take it off you, and when you think about it that way, and you think about it impacting another human being's life, and by sharing that, that will happen, whether you hear from people or not. It is happening when you do it. So please, I implore you to get out there and to voice your vibe, and to share you, and share from your heart, and get vulnerable, and get comfortable being uncomfortable, and just be you. And realize that it's okay to not have it all figured out, and realize that you're not going to have it all figured out right away. It's going to take you time, but every step you take matters. Every small step of pulling out your phone every day and smiling and hitting record matters. Every time you think about it, every time you hit record and post, it all matters. Every time you engage with someone, it matters. So just show up, be you. Engagement is an important part of this, guys. It's not just about showing up on video. Showing up means showing up and supporting others. Because remember, you're seen and heard when you do that too. Really, really important. You never know who's paying attention. You never know who's watching what you're doing for the good. So just remember that, and remember the importance of showing up and helping others.
I love it, Brian. I love it. You know, when you said inspire for your story, my one word is perseverance. Yeah, no, never give up. I'm always going to keep going. So
That's it.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Well, Brian, man, I really appreciate everything, man. Everything's been just so good. I think everyone's going to learn so much from you, and just from watching this and hearing this. And I hope that people are inspired by hearing your story. So I really appreciate you, man, as a person, and as in all aspects of life. I really appreciate you, and look forward to connecting and building our relationship. And hopefully this will help others out there, man. So where can everyone find you? Your website and social media handles, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I bleed blue and white. LinkedIn is my home. It has been. I've been all in for 16.5 years. Find me on LinkedIn. Send me a personalized invite, please. Just say, hey, Brian, I heard you on Tales from the Pros with Michael. Would love to connect. Anything else you want to share, that's great. But in the invite, please just let me know that, because I literally do get thousands of invites from people, and most of them have no message with it. So I'd love to know that you're coming from here. I'd love to connect with you there, because that is my home. I am on other social platforms. You can follow @VoiceYourVibe on Twitter, on Instagram. It's @VoiceYourVibe on all platforms. But LinkedIn is where I live and breathe every single day. So that's the best place. Home. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So that's the best place. But Michael, I appreciate you. I appreciate your tribe. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
My pleasure, man.
Loved our chat, man. Truly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you everyone for listening, man. Brian is an amazing person. So definitely follow him and give him a shout. Check him out. And thank you, Brian. And thank you everyone for listening, for your time. Really appreciate it. So again, my name is Michael Giorgio, your host on Tales from the Pros. And until next time, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Please subscribe to our YouTube page and also follow our social media. There are links somewhere around here. But we really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the support. And I'm going to be giving you awesome content continuously. And we look forward to seeing you soon.